everybody, welcome back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We come down to the TV studio at the wall that says it all for just 3 downs. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, and we are going to take a look now at the Jaguars Captains. Not all of them, but 3 of them. And why in a game of that magnitude against the Colts, or really any game, you need your star players, your big players, your captains to play well. And we have some examples that they didn't play well. There are a lot of examples of everybody didn't play well against the Indianapolis Colts. We'll get into it. Once again, if you're watching on our video platforms, now 1 million deep on our video platforms at Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We appreciate it. We'll show you the illustrations. If you're listening, ESPN 690, ESPN690.com, the TuneIn app, anywhere else, we'll try to make this candy for your ears as well. So let's begin with Nick Foles, his first game back. Chris Conley on Jags Report Live the other night told us Indianapolis changed things up. The first 2 drives where Nick Foles was 6 for 7, they throw a touchdown pass. It was man-to-man.
Correct.
Well, then they went into zone coverage, and, well, the Jags didn't play well against the zone. Was that Foles? Was that the Jags? Was that the Colts?
So that's a lot of things. Because to me, if you go back in the Colts' history this year, listen, back in 2018, they've always been a zone team. To me, what really put the Indianapolis Colts on the map this year as a defense was when they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, how did they beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Being a predominantly zone team, the Indianapolis Colts came out, and guess what? I rewatched the game a little bit. The Colts came out and ran, I would say realistically, 75% of their coverages were man on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Is that a copycat to the New England Patriots from back in the postseason?
Might be a little bit.
Chiefs, right?
Yes, absolutely. It might be a little bit. But what I'm saying is, their characteristics, they've always been zone coverage. But for whatever reason, they saw something with Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs. They went man. Kansas City couldn't counter it. So I guarantee Jacksonville saw that film, obviously. All NFL teams saw that film and said, you know what? We have to plan for man now. Even though one of their starting corners was out, we still have to anticipate man here.
So they did anticipate man, like I said, 6 or 7 early on, but then things start to change. And this is just a play against the zone. This is one of many. I mean, obviously, Foles threw it 47 times. There were a lot of incompletions. There was the interception. But, I mean, is this easy pickings and Foles is rusty? Is this something the Colts are doing? What goes on is this play is just basically a normal pass play over the middle of the field. He has time. Maybe can't fully step up in the pocket due to this the little bit of pressure on the left side, but not a lot. And he's got a running back out of the backfield. I think that's Fournette, but it could be Raquel Armstead. And then a receiver down the field as well. And, well, it's not a completion.
No, it's not a completion. Now, if you go back and look at this formation and what they ran, it's what we like to call an overload. It was a bunch formation, but they were spread out a lot farther than the quarterback than a traditional bunch. And what the philosophy is there is when you have 3 guys that are close to each other, but they're on the outside of the line of scrimmage, that means that they're probably going to run something sort of the same route, where one guy's going to maybe run 5 yards, other guy breaks off at 7, another guy goes deep. What that does is that overloads one side. So basically what that means is what Nick Foles needs here is protection in the pocket, which he feels some pressure. But if you overload that one side and the defense doesn't adjust to it, which guess what? The Colts didn't on this play, that means that someone's going to come up either open deep or underneath. And as we break down this play right here to Keelan Cole, obviously it was a bad throw. Maybe Foles felt a little pressure. But if you would have just saw, he had an underneath guy right here, and he had another guy coming across. So the overload worked. It's just for the fact that he maybe felt some pressure and threw it to the wrong guy here.
And I believe this is the play where Cole doesn't even look, right? And they almost pick it off, but they run into each other. Or it could have easily been an interception to Nick Foles. So this is pretty simplistic.
It is.
Kind of just poor execution once again.
It's poor execution. One could think maybe, this is one of the very first plays of the game, and maybe Foles is still getting acquainted, kind of shaking some of the rust off. But he did have guys open, and unfortunately, this was 3rd down. The Jaguars got to punt it off this, and it is what it is.
The bottom line is Nick Foles, maybe he was rusty, and I think we need a bigger sample to figure out, all right, is this really Nick Foles just not being good, or is he just trying to get back into the swing of things? And the Jags don't have time for that, but the bottom line from a Nick Foles perspective, I think we got to give him at least another game to figure out how much of that is Nick Foles. By the way, as we walk over here to captain number 2, and that's Myles Jack, who had a really rough game, I will tell you that I kind of feel like a substitute science teacher.
You kind of look like one, but you know what? But I'm going to respect you here, man. I'm going to respect you, and I'm not going to get away with anything, I promise. So from this perspective, listen, Brent, we're breaking down the captains, right? Because we've been pretty critical, at least I have been pretty critical on the coaches so far this week. Well,
you're not the only one.
Well, there is a chain of command, though, right? It goes the coaches, and then it goes the captains, and then the players. And let's be honest, Nobody played well. We pretty much ripped the coaches so far the past couple days. Well, now we have to go to the captains because, like I said, it is the chain of command.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, this play. It's third quarter. It's 10-7. We still got a football game here.
Correct.
Early third. This is the drive they go down and score on, but this is the 3rd and 19 play. I mean, they're trying to get off the field and just give their punter a little bit more room, and the Jaguars give up 31 yards on this play. This is baffling. This is, in a way, it's worse than Brady 3rd and 18 because it's not Todd Brady, and it's not the playoffs, and it's not the AFC Championship game. Although that was worse because it was all those things. But, I mean, I don't get this. I mean, how does this happen in the NFL? There must have been 10 guys doing the wrong thing on this play.
So, from this standpoint, if you want to say the Jaguars scheme kind of got called out here, they did because they're playing back. Basically, they're trying to prevent, the 3rd and long.
They're playing the marker, right?
They're playing the marker. Well, in playing the marker, you're vulnerable to the screens and the short passes, and that's what happened here. And if you have a guy in space that can make the play, that has the speed and agility to get open, well, there's going to be problems. But the reason why I chose this play, Brent, and we're highlighting captains here, is Myles Jack. Now, if you go back and watch this play completely, this isn't really Myles Jack's fault. There's a lot of guys at fault here, and let's be honest. It was a good play call by the Indianapolis Colts and maybe a not-so-good play call by Todd Wash and the Jacksonville Jaguars. But why I'm highlighting Myles Jack here is because this screen cap right here says everything you need to know about him playing middle linebacker. Middle linebackers more than anything else, and they're a different breed. We say football players are a different breed, middle linebackers are a different breed. And why I say that is because anytime you see action coming to you, anytime you see guards coming to you, let's be honest, the Colts have some pretty good guards, they have a pretty solid offensive lineman in general. Anytime you see a guy coming towards you, you can't go lateral. You have to go attack it. You have to go downhill, north to south, north to south, north to south. Myles Jack reads the play fine. But the problem is that he goes too lateral. And when he goes lateral and tries to push the ball back inside, as you can see right here, his feet are completely square. And when your feet are completely square, any offensive lineman's going to be like, gotcha.
Because you're off balance.
And let's be honest here, Brent. I would probably say 80 to 90% of the middle linebackers in the NFL probably do the exact same thing Myles Jack does. He gets lateral. He tries to turn the ball back inside. Unfortunately, as you can see, there is nothing back inside to help him out.
Nothing.
Right? So there's the pursuit angles right there we've been talking about the whole week. But the problem is that Myles Jack isn't supposed to be, the echelon of 90%. He's supposed to be that special 10% because you know why? He's getting paid like it. And that special 10%, the top elite middle linebackers, they go through that block and they try to make the play.
So that's what he should have done, would have done, could have done. And let me ask you, just go back up top, because again, just for the folks just listening, this is the 3rd and 19 play, early third quarter. They've got the screen set up beautifully, really. But again, it's 19 yards. I mean, you just got to hold it from 19 yards. Then down here, Myles Jack is kind of, he's flat-footed by this time as he's trying to push that back inside. And then up here, they already are 5 yards, well, a couple yards down the field, but it is set up beautifully as they go back inside with this for a 31-yard gain, and everybody's in chase mode. So that's kind of the illustration of where we're at. There's 4 different screen grabs here of this play. Do you not like Todd Wash playing the marker on a 3rd and 19? I mean, don't a lot of defenses do that? Just say, hey, we'll give up 15 yards on this side of the field, but don't give up 19.
So a lot of defenses do this. And you know what? This at the most should be a 10-yard gain right here. And it's like I was talking about. If Myles Jack comes downhill and gets aggressive, I get what Myles Jack's trying to do right here. He's trying to push the play back inside. And that's kind of a rule for anybody, whether you're Pop Warner, college, high school, whatever it is. If you see a play, you push it back inside because that's where your help's going to come. Unfortunately, whether guys are just winded, guys are tired, whatever the excuse is, there was no pursuit coming back.
So they weren't tired. They just came out of the locker room.
So even when Myles Jack, tries to push it back inside, it's not there. So that's where being the top 3 highest paid, middle linebackers and playing like it comes into play, where you have to come downhill and be aggressive. And that was kind of the wrap up of Myles Jack's day. He did okay. But I feel like you can be more aggressive coming downhill and stopping those runs.
Well, let me ask you this. If he does bust through this guy, right, he at least maybe either pushes him back or doesn't create more space downfield. And that could give Smoot the opportunity, and the running back has to stutter step a little bit. So the play slows down. He might not make the play, right? Am I correct?
You're absolutely right here. I mean, if Myles Jack just comes downhill and just pushes this guard back a little bit, I mean, even a foot of that guard getting pushed back, it can change this whole run around. And I guarantee it's not going to be a 19-yard or 20-yard gain, whatever it was. But And as you can see, everyone's just chasing backside.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Brent, this is a
I
game
closed
of
my
inches.
eyes at this point.
I think we all did,
Yeah.
for the most part.
And by the way, you were too nice to Myles Jack. You say he played okay. A lot of people believe he did not have a good game the other day.
No, so as far as the run game's concerned, yeah, obviously nobody played good on that defense. Maybe Yannick Ngakoue for the most part.
I haven't heard him against the run.
Herb against the run was a little bad, but my point is the fact that it starts with the defensive line, right? And they weren't taking care of their guards. Myles Jack was getting blocked by the guards. But it's Myles Jack's job to come north to south, come downhill, and stop those
And it goes back to what we've been saying about Myles Jack, man. You got to make splash plays.
Yeah.
Right? When do you get a star, right? When do I notice 44 on the field?
Yeah.
The interception against Cincinnati, really the only time I can remember this year saying, wow, there he is. There's number 44. All right, our last one and our last captain. It's the mayor of Jacksonville. I hate saying anything bad about my guy, Calais Campbell.
We got to be honest,
and he would say this too. I think we'll do Jaguars All Access tomorrow night, and he will say this.
Yeah.
He did not have a good game. And he's coming off about a string of 4 really good games, I think it was. But he did not have a good game. And, well, this is a play down near the goal line. They finish off that drive after the 3rd and 19 conversion. It's 4th and goal. Now, this is an excellent play, right? I think this is an excellent play.
By Jacoby Brissett.
By Jacoby Brissett and the Colts. I thought actually my reaction was the defense did a pretty nice job here, but it was tight coverage. So tell me why I'm wrong.
This is where we disagree a little bit. And this is probably one of the most frustrating plays of the day for me, from my standpoint. If you go back to where this play started, the Jaguars' defensive line was not ready, and guys were confused. And you can tell that easily. If guys are standing up asking, where do I go, and the ball snapped, guess what? Guys aren't ready. Now, who does that fall on? Obviously, Myles Jack.
Now, call timeout.
Yeah, exactly. You either call a timeout or you got to get the play in faster. Whatever the reason is, but guys were not ready.
So, to your point, I said that twice watching the game. I said, call timeout, before the ball would snap, because you could tell people were all over the place.
So here we go. So guys aren't ready. Guys are standing up, and it wasn't by design, obviously. So if we have that, Brent, the Jaguars' defensive line, their defense, is already at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Now let's look more into it. We are at 4th and goal on the 1-yard line, and you're doing that.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's awful.
That's either the difference between winning and losing right there.
Yeah.
It's that 1 yard not being ready. So off the get-go, guys are confused and guys are not ready. Now the Jaguars, as you can see, that they send 5 guys here, which obviously I'm a big fan of.
You're okay with that.
Let's get a little pressure here. But here's where it kind of all goes wrong. Once again, the rush lanes, as we can see, it's not disciplined because guys aren't ready. Guys don't know where to go. I think I saw Taven Bryan go from the left side to the right side, wasn't really knowing where he was rushing. So from the get-go, guys don't know where they're going. Now, Calais Campbell, he has a chance to make the play. And I've said it, and he said it before. You don't want to be a robot. You want to be an athlete, and you want to make a play. So Calais Campbell tries to make the play. I have no problem with it. He got shook. He got his ankles broke a little bit. That happens.
He's a 300-pound guy
Drew
working
Brees
against.
shook me really bad in the Saints game, like my second year, and I still haven't, my friends still give me crap for that, okay? so I've been there. But here's the problem, Brent. It's what we talked about in slide number 2 with Myles Jack. If you're going to miss, it's okay. But where do you miss? You miss to the point where the guy's got to go back inside. As you can see here, Calais Campbell tried to go for the sack, but he tried to go for the sack inside.
Yeah.
What did that do? When he falls to the ground, it leaves a wide open rush lane. If Calais Campbell would have missed on the other side, Brissett would have had nowhere to go.
If you're looking at our video platforms, if you just listen, hopefully you can follow along. But these illustrations, again, 4th and goal, and now Jacoby Brissett has put a juke move on Calais Campbell.
Yeah.
An athlete against a good athlete, but a 300-pound athlete. Correct. It's a little bit of a mismatch in the open field. But your point's right. He doesn't send him back into the middle.
Yeah.
Then Jacoby Brissett would go outside and hit the touchdown pass, even though it was good coverage by A.J. Boye. But the lanes are open. There's a lot going on here. I actually thought in real time that Jacoby Brissett was going to score up the middle. And I was like, wow, Calais, nice job.
Yeah.
That's my initial was you stopped the run up the middle. I thought they was going to score, just scrambling.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. In fact, if you look at this, if you can see it on the video platforms, Jacoby Brissett looks like he's about to go down.
Yeah.
It's incredible balance. It's a really nice play by him.
It's very impressive. Now, it's not just Calais Campbell's fault, though, right? Because usually on the defensive line, it's a few guys. We also have to point out, again, Myles Jack. The biggest thing about Myles Jack here, Brent, is where are his hands and where are the offensive tackle's hands?
Well, offensive tackle's hands grabbing him like this.
Correct.
And
easy now, but yes,
you're
correct.
I got a little aggressive.
No, you're good.
And his arm's flailing, at least his right arm is.
So, Brent, we've done this before. When I say you want to pass rush, you want to attack the tackle, do I attack half of you or do I attack All of you.
I'm trying to remember from this test. I feel like this is like a.
This is pretty basic stuff. So I'm going to attack half of you.
You're
because I get it. You're a small guy, but you know what? I don't want to work hard. So I'm going to attack half of you, even when I'm pass rushing. Now,
easy on the small guys.
You can attack the full man if you want, but that's only from a bull rush. Yeah. You have to set that up. Myles Jack's not a pass rusher. I understand that. He's not used to being right here, right now. But the fact
he's giving up 60 pounds to that guy.
Yes, and you know what? When you go head on head like that and you're giving up that much weight, you're not going to win a lot of battles. No. So unfortunately, as we look right here, Myles Jack is pretty much swallowed up, and Brissett actually goes on the outside of him, and that causes the touchdown.
So Myles Jack actually twice here, in my opinion, he took himself out of the play, allowed a big rushing lane that Calais would eventually gobble up, but still allowed him to go back outside. So really, Myles allowed two different things to happen on the same play because of technique.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly. And here's the thing. I'm okay because I just said you have to be aggressive. Yeah, you have to come downhill. You can come downhill if you're Myles Jack right here, but he's peeking in the backfield. He's not focused on his tackle. He's looking to see where the ball is. And when you do that and you're not disciplined, that's where you kind of get washed out of the gap a little bit. That's exactly what happened on this play right here.
Well, that's the wall that says it all. Austin Lane, just 3 downs. And really, if you sum it up, in my opinion, if you're going to win football games at any level, your best players usually are going to play well. If you're going to win in sports, your better players are playing well. We just showed 3 captains, 3 good football players for the Jaguars, really not doing their job on specific plays. But overall, these 3 guys did not play well on Sunday against the Colts, and the Jaguars paid the price for it. All right, going back upstairs, more of Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690 to come right after this.